Well, I need to learn how to program an ESP32. If you've been seeing my salvage electronics videos, I've accumulated a huge amount of stuff, and a lot of it is going to need processors to run it. Mainly the steppers and any solenoids and stuff like that. So, I'm learning how to program, like it or not. I did used to program, but that was back in the 80s and the 90s. So let's see. Lesson 1 was basically, or tutorial 1, whichever way you want to call it, Mailbag 67-ish electronics from Amazon. That's where I opened up the package. Then, a Mailbag 67-ish update fixing the ESP32 issues. There were two main issues, being the driver for this did not load, and you can see that video if you've got that problem. And the other problem was, and I'll pull it up on the screen, is that not the library, but some of the functions for the board didn't load. But it was all covered in that update. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take their tutorial and modify them slightly and show you how to do it all. So there's going to be some documents you need to look at on the web. One of them, and here's the first page, Arduino docs. Believe me, you want to have that one. You're going to be paging back and forth on that one, looking at values and functions and all of that. The second one is, well, you want the INOs for this, which is basically the program, to make your life easier. Now, there's two ways of doing it. You can click on that and download the zip. But if you're like me and I don't like zip files coming off the internet, the alternative is this page I'll pull up. It's their wiki page, and it has all the stuff that is in that zip file, and then you can download the INOs as you go to each of the lessons. Now, let's get into my version of the lessons. And I'll pull up on the screen there what it looks like. So here's the program. This is what I was talking about earlier, the board manager. I had a very hard time loading it, but that was in the other video. So what I've done to this code, if you download their INO code for tutorial 2.2, you have most of this. I've added serial begin 9600, and that has to match this over here so that the two can communicate. And then I've also added serial line hello world. I'm old school. Computer programs should say hello world if it's the first one you're doing. I've also included size of int because I wanted to find out how big the integer is. And it turns out to be 4 bytes. I previously had it saying boring, not putting out this part, just so that I could make sure everything was working. Down here at the bottom, it's saying hello world 4. So now let's take a look at the code. So if you go to their 2.2 red, green, blue LED tutorial, I've wired it up. I've changed the wiring just slightly. I figure if I've got a red wire, I might as well assign it to the red portion of the LED. Ditto for the green to the green and the blue to the blue, and then black to ground. So if you take a look at this, I got it. There's the ground to ground. Note that when they say 2, they're talking GPIO2, not the number 2 pin. So if you see the D2, That's for the blue. The red was GPIO 4, and you can see the 4 there. And the green was GPIO 5. And it comes over to a 220 ohm resistor, then goes up to the LED. And the LED goes red, then the long pin is ground, then green, then blue. So I've got it set up. I just use slightly different wiring. And as you can see, it's going through, just missed it, but it was red, green, blue, and then it's going through the other part of the color changing, which is their program. I added that red, green, blue with a 5-second delay. But now it's time to take a look at the code. This is actually easier to do than on the screen. The screen capture program isn't working that good. But let's pull this down a bit. Okay, what does the code mean? Well, you got this. Okay, ignore that one. If it's // it's comment, and it doesn't get executed. Then there's hashtag define blue2. All that does is make it easier to read the program. When it gets compiled, it doesn't apparently add any extra code to the program. So in this case, I'm saying GPIO 2 is assigned to blue. GPIO 5 is assigned to green. GPIO 4 is assigned red. They abbreviated it on the board over there and just said D. So then you get to void setup. This gets run once when the board resets or powers up. And what you're doing is defining some pins and other things. So pin mode, red, which was number 4, GPIO 4, is assigned output. Now, it's got a choice. I'm going to go down to the blue one. Is also assigned output, and the green. So blue, which is pin 2, is for output. The other options are input and input pull up. This will get covered on switches or push buttons. And it is actually important which one you use. And this is where reading that Arduino document thing's important. So it'll be pin 4 since that's red. High. Oh, what is high? They're saying it's a digital signal, 3.3 volts. Pin 5, which is green, is set low, 0 volts. Ditto for this one, 0 volts. And then, as I pointed out earlier, I added this, so I'm transmitting out at 9600 baud rate to the serial monitor. Then we get down to the first thing I hit that is like, well, what exactly is it? Int, red value, remember syntax, green value, blue value. But what is an int? Well, integer. I knew that part, but I didn't know how big the integer is. And in this case, and I'll show in a moment, I actually asked the thing, what is it? What's the size of it? And it comes back 4 bytes for this board. And that's important because that defines how big the number can get or how small it can get. It's still an integer, so it's like 1, 5, 0, -5. Then we get down to main loop, and that's exactly what it's supposed to be, void loop. They should have actually called it main loop, but void loop. So basically from this part right there to the end of the program where there will be another one, it will loop again and again and again. Around it goes. Inside the loop they defined delay time at 10 So that'd be 10 milliseconds. I added this serial period print line hello world. Note, I'm old school. When you write a program, the first one, it should be saying hello world. Then, and this outputs to the serial monitor. Size of int. As I said, it's 4 bytes, but I needed to find that out just for peace of mind. Let's move this up a bit. Now, why did I care? Well, if it's 2 byte, it's actually a much smaller number, the limits. So as a 4 byte, it's negative 2,147,483,648 to 2,147,483,647. Near about, in case I made a mistake. So that's actually a pretty nice size number. But it is important that you know what the limits are. Now, this is code that I added. What I said was set the red value at 255, and I'll cover the pulse width modulation in a moment. Green to 0, blue value to 0, and then I did the analog right. So I'm putting out to pin, red, so pin 4. I'm turning it on. Red value. And that's at 255. Cover that in a second. 0, 0. Then I did the green and then the blue. Now, what does that value do? Gotta check that stupid camera. Okay. Where was I? If it's 0, then when it outputs for the pulse width modulation, it's just going to be at 0 volts for the whole cycle. Then if I say I set it at 127, it would be on for about half the time, then off for half the time roughly. At 255, it's on for the full amount of time at 3.3 volts. And what that's going to do is, this is going to be the bright, less bright, and off. And as you do that for each of the LEDs at the same time, basically at the same time at the speed it's doing, your eyes aren't going to notice it. You change the colors. And I can't remember where I was on this, but there was my blue. So at the end of this cycle in here, which is the stuff I did, red, it'll go to green, and blue, then to blue. There's my 5-second delay there. After that, it then goes into their part of the program that they wrote. So, for int I equals 0, I less than 255, I plus equal 1. Basically, this for loop here is going to do red, fades out of red, brings green, full, when 255. So they're changing the value of the red and the green, and that's affecting what color you see. And they're using a delay of 10 milliseconds. Then they do it again. There's the for loop. Got to watch your brackets. You better learn C++, or at least some of it. And fades out green, brings blue full. Then the last one is down here. Their loop here, fades out blue, bring green full, or red full at that. And same thing. So they're just turning each pin on for a certain amount of time, and then switching the amount of time it's on. Then, when you finish this last one, you hit this bracket, and you go all the way back up to the beginning right here. And it repeats again and again. So that's it for this one. It's actually not too bad. Let me just... Okay, so once you got your code in, I forgot to mention this, you click on Verify, and it goes through the process of checking all your code, making sure you've got your syntax all right, and if you got errors, then it'll give you a warning message, etc. Once you've made sure all your syntax is right, your program's working, then you come over here and you click on Upload. And it will now send it over here and into the ESP32. Now, once you've done that, it's now actually there in memory and it'll stay there. So if you unplug it, of course it turns off. But when you hook it back up to a power bank, it continues to run quite happily since it's now in memory. So that's it for this one. I'll be doing another one on the push buttons and whatever else I can toss into that one, and try to get 2 or 3 of their lessons into each video. So, have a good one. Bye.